I was feeling well and in all possession of my body, and I could sit, and always I had this warm jacket on me, which was enormous. And the first thing I saw was the two men sat on armchairs back to me, and there was a big, big screen. And on this screen, I could see the curvature of the earth. And I didn't know at the time it was the earth, that this was beautiful. I think I understood pretty much that they were bringing me home. And my savior came, he sat beside me, and he spoke to me, and I could understand what he was saying. And he said that they were part of a big organization that I learned later was the Galactic Federation, and that he was from the Pleiades, and that they are rescuing people, especially children. They are working like mad to rescue children that are being abducted, and that they were going to bring me home, and that he explained to me what he did with the implant. And so he put his hand on my head, and I fell asleep. I lost consciousness, and I woke up in my bed. And the next thing is that I woke up in my bed in the morning. The bleedings were on again, and I had blood all over my bed, markings, triangular markings in my inside of my wrist, and a horrible headache. And it was panic. The doctor came, and he couldn't find out anything. I was too young to have my period. It was just traumatic. So they brought me in the hospital, where I stayed 2 months. And
You stayed for how long?
2 months.
2 months?
Yes, 2 months.
Why so long? Okay, well,
Because
okay.
yeah, because they wanted to do tests on me, many tests, and because my headaches wouldn't stop. They were doing scans and electroencephalograms and scans, and they couldn't find anything in my head. Of course, because this implant is interdimensional, so it's transdimensional, so it's in another density that's not, you cannot see it with the instruments of
Is that
our density.
like an ethereal implant? Is that what they're called?
I wouldn't call it ethereal. I would call it a technology, but in a higher density. So it's like, it is in another dimension density. I can't. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not detectable by our instruments. Yeah, scanner.
So you got it tuned though to the frequency of the Pleiadians, but the minute you got back home, it's like everything kind of fell away. Or did you have more contact with either group?
Yes. They contact me regularly. I thought I was dreaming. I was seeing the same person, this man with wavy hair, in my dreams. He was talking to me, and one day I could remember clearly what he was saying, that they were here to protect me, and I needed to stay on this planet because I had chosen to be here, because I had a mission. And I remember I was saying, no, I want to go back with you. I want to go back. And they were saying, no, you have to understand that you chose this mission, and you have to stay until you accomplished it. My grandmother told me that she was hearing me every night praying to the stars, and my window was open. I was saying, please come back and bring me home. And so I couldn't understand why at the time. And I was completely obsessed by the Pleiades, the constellation. And at that time, I wanted to become an astronomer, because every cell of my body wanted to be there, not here. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was, I think, maybe 14. And this blonde lady was in my bedroom. It was very shocking. She was there. And she showed the wall to me, and the wall became a screen. And in the screen, she showed me stuff. She showed me a big pyramid and people queuing to go to this pyramid as if this pyramid was a portal. And there were spaceships coming and taking the people somewhere else, like saving them. And then she showed me like a flight, like if I was a bird flying above a landscape. And it was twilight, maybe night. It was in a desert area, and there were buildings, like military buildings in the desert. And I could really focus. And she was drawing my attention to a hangar in that desert. And it was a valley that was perfectly clear until this day. And she said to me, you need to contact, she gave me the name of a person. And I realized later, recently, as I just put my nose back into it, that this aerial view was Area 51. Exactly. And I still don't know to this day why I needed to contact this person. They told, because I asked, they told me at the time he could have helped you understand things. So that was it. And another time as well, I was taken again on board a ship. I was 16. In full afternoon, the ray of light, and I was inside the ship suddenly. And they were the same Nordic Pleiadian people, and they left me my memory for that time, and they showed me on a table there was kind of a holographic map with lines and circles in 3 dimension, and it was the map of the stars, like star map, and they were showing me positions of civilizations, and that was imprinted in my mind. They beamed me back, and my first reflex was to grab a map I had, astrological map on paper, and glue stickers wherever I could remember the civilizations were, and write on the map all the names I couldn't find, the name of the stars that I had in my head, and then blank. Poof. Suddenly, I realized something, that this was important, and I got scared. I got scared, and I folded the map and I hid it. Recently, when I decided to undergo hypnosis last year.
Hypnosis.
Sorry?
Oh, just in case people didn't quite catch what you said hypnosis.
Yes, hypnosis, yes.
Okay.
Last year. At the same time, I received a parcel from my mother in France. And she said, oh, I was going through your old stuff and I found this. And that was the map.
Huh.
So I have it. And in the meantime, I had been in contact with my protectors. And I asked him, my protector, I asked him, could you help me complete it? And he did.
Huh.
And I published it in my book. So it's
Oh my
available
goodness.
for everyone, because that's, when you receive gift, you always have to share them. That's my, well, at the moment, they were okay with that, of course. And that's when we decide to give information to people. And then we decide to, because he was telling me about all these races, and I started to note everything, and we decided to do a book because I'm an artist, so I could draw them, the visions he was giving me of these races. And that's how the book came. This book is not only my story, but as well a guide of alien races that are visiting Earth. and where they live. And that's a gift. I call the book a gift from the stars, but that's a gift for everyone. So this implant was activated sometimes. I could feel, sometimes one day I was in college and this really activated. I felt a big pain, like if someone was putting a nail in my head, and I fell on my knee, really in pain, and it went like click, and I heard his voice for the first time in my head.
The
And
protector, the wave
yes,
guard.
his name is Thorhan. That's his name, Thorhan. And he said to me in my language, "Do not worry, we are just making a test, tuning and making a test." And I saw his face in my head. So it was, they were tuning the implant to start to communicate again with me. But they didn't really do it because I was very emotional. And, admitting their existence and that these weren't dreams, that me beaming aboard the ship wasn't me being crazy, admitting all this was true, was also admitting that the Greys had done horrible things on me. And my subconscious was, no, it was too traumatic. And I had PTSD all my life. I couldn't go to the dentist. It's been quite traumatic. And when my awakening process just happened, I was ready. And they came back after years and years, after maybe 20 years of no contact, because I need to go process of my life. I was working in Egypt as an archaeologist. It was very hard. I came back to France, my country, and then moved to Ireland, where I live now. And one night in 2018, I went outside and I saw two spaceships crossing the sky and playing with each other, going here, like if they wanted me to see them, and shooting above the sea. On the following day, it's gone. It's called the Shannon incident. It's been on all the newspaper. Plane pilots have seen them. There's recordings. Anyway, this night they took me again, but this night it was like meeting old friends.
Right, because there's been a 20-year gap, right? So
Yes, meeting old friends and catching up.
and
And it
you
was,
said an archaeologist in Egypt. I just want to make sure
yes,
everybody heard that.
yes. I'm an archaeologist. That is my profession. Before I became a light worker, after my awakening, I have been working as an archaeologist all my life. Yes.
Okay, so keep going. So it was like a
So they
reunion,
took
you
me.
said? Yeah.
Yes, 2018, November 2018, and they say to me, "We are back because something very important is going to happen for Earth."
What year was this?
2018, November 2018.
Okay. Wow.
We are back because something very important is going to happen for Earth. And so they were very excited. It was in a positive way that they say that. Very excited. Something's going to happen for Earth and we are back. This kind of energy. And the Pleiadians are very sizzling and very hyper energy. It's like buzzing all the time. They're like, you have to keep up with them. They're like, and then there was another person who was with them, and that's another part of my life as well. Thorhan, my protector, said to me, "Now there is someone that you haven't seen for a long time who wants to meet you again." Didn't know what he meant. He stepped back. Him and the lady, they stepped back. And behind, from a corner of the ship, came a tall gray being. But he wasn't gray. Had a brown skin. Looked like a tall gray, but he had brown skin and beautiful indigo eyes with clear blue pupils in the center. And this being was radiating so much love and high spiritual energy, so much love. And it was like if I knew him from always. And it was like family. It was so weird.
But they said you knew him, right?
Yes. And very weirdly, I saw myself going towards him. And you know what I did? I hugged him. Oh my God, I couldn't control myself. I hugged him and and I remember his cheek was cold. That was weird. And he said, "My name is Anax, and I am very glad to see you again, my child." What the hell was that? You know? And then Torhan said, "Okay, now we need to bring you back, but we'll be present in your life very soon. Wait for it." So I felt dizzy and I felt surrounded by blue light, and I was in my bedroom again. And then my awakening just started. Just at that moment, I fell really in the dark night of the soul. Everything I knew just collapsed, vanished, and it was like horrible. Well, everyone who went through this know what I'm talking about. And slowly, slowly, I went out of it, realized who I was, and that I was more spiritual and more magical than I thought. Things were starting to activate, and that's when I start to want to do this hypnosis. Find a hypnotherapist. I found a lady who specialized in alien abductees and star seeds. So I went with her, and she changed my life because she brought back all my memory. But in my memory, I reconnected openly with Torhan, and the implant now was really activated. And that's what he was waiting for, that I made the extra step myself. And I did it, and I accepted it, and I was ready to know the truth. And that's when then he told me, "I rescued you because," and the memories of the abductions by the Greys just unfolded, and a whole story. And I was ready. I was ready. Then, the following day of the first hypnosis session, I heard his voice in my head, and I realized I was connected with him, and I could talk by telepathy. And that's how it started. That's how suddenly I had daily contact with him. But as well, I realized with the other one, the tall gray as well, and the lady as well. I went, wow, I can speak with them. And they taught me how to activate the implant. And I start to do channelings as well. So now that's why I'm doing channelings for people. I'm channeling them once a week now. And that is how I got to be connected to Valiant Thor. That's the story I'm going to talk. But
Oh, before we go there,
yeah.
So just to make sure, okay, when you came back,
Yes.
and you were in the hospital for 2 months,
Yes.
I kind of jumped into another question, and I'm not sure if you were able to finish the thought of what was it that got you out of the hospital? What was it, because of your relationship with these higher beings, that they were able to kind of heal you and help you deal with those headaches, or what sort of got you out of the hospital and being tested and all the headaches?
They got me out when they found an explanation that they invented, because I was given hormones and the pill, and they provoked my period. And once they could explain, like with denial, that the bleeding at the start was due to preparing my period, they they tried to find an explanation, and then they went, okay, she'll be fine, out. but
I got
never.
you.
Yeah, my headaches calmed down slowly, slowly, and but that was the implant, because it's been very hard, invasive. The way the place they put it, the way they did it, and then the Pleiadians trying to trigger it, to remove it. No, no, it reattune it. Okay, I mean, my head was like jam.
Oh man. And then after the hospital, when was the first you visited with Thor Han again? But then there was that 20-year gap, right? You had another visitation before that big gap, or was it after the
Yes,
hospital there was that gap?
yes, I had 3 visitations. One with the lady and 2 with him. And the 2 visitations I was on board the ship. And I remember as well, when I was on board the ship, they showed me how to pilot it. I couldn't touch anything. I wasn't allowed to touch anything, but they allowed me to sit in the chair. And because Thorhan was a pilot, and he showed me and he explained to me. And recently I asked him again, when we were doing this book, that he explained to me in more details how it was really working. So there are different ways of piloting a ship, and they can pilot by consciousness, by merging their frequency with the frequency of the ship. They can do it mechanically. It depends. It depends. There are so many formations.
Nice. Well, let's definitely shift gears, because this is so fascinating. I'm so I've got so many questions though, about what we just talked about, but just because for a timing thing, we can always do more. You mentioned that you had met Valiant Thor 2 weeks ago on the
Yes.
orbital ship where your friend Thor Han is working, and the encounter was quite striking. So take us into that and some of the communications that have taken
Yeah.
place.
Yes.